Take one. Yeah, right now that the camera's on, I don't even know where to begin. It's such a conversation killer for me.
Go, man. Do your thing.
So we're talking about my business and what we do, and as you know, we have an outliner.
Right.
So what does outliner mean to you?
It has no... nothing registers. I know what an outline is,
Okay.
but I've never heard the word outliner.
Okay,
So
perfect.
So the concept of an outliner, which is something that does outlines, is something that has no connection whatsoever with me.
But can you imagine what it would do? Or how it would be useful?
Well, okay, I struggle with, yes, I can imagine what it does, but I struggle with the second part of the equation. I told you this already, and that's because in the whole universe of things that I could be good at, one of the very few things I'm good at is organizing my thoughts. Mm-hmm. Okay? So it doesn't strike me as something that I would want to use because I'm good at organizing my thoughts. But I would like to know, what I've discovered is that this talent I have to organize my thoughts is not something I share with a lot of people. That a lot of people don't organize their thoughts well, which is an interesting concept. But I've been training myself for almost my entire adult life to organize my thoughts. So you are setting up, as I understand it, some kind of computer thing that enables people to do what I have trained myself to do. Am I correct?
Yes, you're correct. But it's more like an enabling tool. It's like a tool for people who need to get thoughts organized. It's a tool to augment their ability to do that, and also to help them express that organization to other people, so that other people can visualize it and get on board really quickly, and then add their 2 cents.
So it's a social networking tool? It's a social networking device? Like everybody would jump aboard?
Multiple people can edit an outline at one time. It's not, you don't have to use anything weird or abstract to describe it. I mean, yes. The answer to all those questions is yes.
So you could use it for like a group project?
Right.
So for instance, my buddy Mick and I are writing a story on Chicago politics right now. We're doing it as a group project, a 2-person project.
Yes.
So we could use this to, he could be in one spot in the city and I could be in another spot. We'd be at our computers and we can use this to help organize our article. That's a joint venture.
Correct.
Okay.
And it uses outlines.
And so it would be open, it would be of use to everybody in the universe who needs to write a paper.
That's right. That's one of our segments, is everybody in the universe who needs to write a paper.
And so who else would it be useful to?
Well, so that everyone in the world who needs to write a paper, the obvious group there is students, right?
Yeah.
And so, for example, in the last couple of weeks, we had a middle school try it out. Mm-hmm. And what happened was the teacher called me up and said, I just tried out ThinkLinker with my husband and we thought it was so cool. I'm a middle school teacher and I want to try it out with my kids. But I don't want to give you their email addresses, which of course we don't want. Like,
right.
We wouldn't want any personal information about the kids anyway. So what we did is we set up a separate instance of the application and we made it so that they couldn't collaborate with the outside world.
Okay.
And I set up all of the logins for her.
Mm-hmm.
I had to come up with 60 names, so I used Roman emperors.
Okay. That's pretty
Some
weird.
of them were ridiculous, but I just had to come up with 60 names. How do you come up with 60 names?
60 or
60.
16? Wow. You
Yeah.
know 60 Roman emperors?
No, the internet does that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I know you're good at having information organized, but you probably can't just go right in.
No, I don't know if I
grab
can
that.
name 3 Roman emperors.
Right, I mean, I was,
Caesar.
Caesar, that was a good one.
All right.
Caligula, I believe, was one.
Wasn't he the depraved one who liked
Well,
sex?
yeah, I know. There was just that movie. That's all I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so what are the markets that we're looking at? One is students.
Okay.
So what ended up happening after that
Yeah.
is that so the teacher goes in and says, I want to use it. The administrator gives me a call. I set this up, and they've got these 60 kids. So that's like 3 classes of 20.
Okay.
And they did small groups, so they did 4 kids, and 1 kid was in charge of the outline, but everybody else could contribute.
Yeah.
And they outlined their chapter. So these are 6th graders. They had read their chapter, then they came to class, they talked about it, and then as a group they built an outline of it.
Okay.
So think about, from an educational perspective, like what those kids actually did.
Yeah.
Right? They all discussed how this information should be organized, and they sort of came to a conclusion together. So they were really sharing thoughts really effectively. And
Right.
and not only that, the administrator ran into one of the sixth graders in the elevator and said, "So, hey Sally, how's it going?" And she said, "Okay, but I'm bummed because we don't have social studies till later, and everybody else got to use ThinkLinker already."
Wow. So they enjoyed it. They had
They
fun
enjoyed
with
it.
Okay.
I've gotten, and you know, Jason and I both really value education. I mean, like the fact that this can help kids learn
Mhm.
is that's really cool, no matter what.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So
So students is one part of the market.
Yeah.
Another part of the market is writers,
okay.
which is neither Jason nor I is a writer, but I think there are a lot of writers who use outliners because there's basically two types of writers. Some writers make a giant outline of everything they're going to do and then sort of fill it in, and some just like start at the beginning and go to the end. And so for the outliners, there's actually already tools. So I don't know how much of that market we're going to get, but I think we might get some of it, especially for people who are just getting started, because our tool is really simple to get
Okay.
started with. And then the other big part of the sort of universe is like guys who are into outlining, or I shouldn't say guys, people like outliner, hardcore outliners. Is, you know, like they're really into information organization. Like, you know how you said that you're really good at it?
Yeah.
Since the beginning of the web, like the guy who invented the idea of the web, sometimes they say his name is Vannevar Bush, and he wrote an article in the Atlantic right at the end of World War II.
Okay.
And basically what he said is we've got all these scientists together, and we've been working on the bomb, and now that that's done, we're all going to kind of disperse.
Yeah.
And so we're going to lose what we had here, which was this intense community where people were really sharing information. And wouldn't it be great if there was a worldwide network of this information that we could share these ideas with? And so the ideas he described, he's credited with sort of being the first person to say that, which ended up becoming the web.
Okay.
So he's a guy who's into information organization.
Yeah.
It's like this idea of information organization. Later on, the guy who invented the mouse
Yeah.
was doing that as part of this bigger mind augmentation thing where he was going to try to help
Who
you.
invented the mouse?
I can never remember his
That
name.
is, someone had to invent it. I never thought of that before.
Yeah.
And how long ago did he invent it?
Now this is like 40%, no, 80% bullshit now, but like 69.
Wow, that thing's
Like
been around that long.
it's been the mouse. It was something like that. I can.
No.
No. So I have this.
You can look it up on the
yeah.
internet. Yeah.
I hate to be wrong.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
But it's
You're not really wrong. You said about. So.
about, yeah. I could be completely wrong. Maybe it was
Maybe it was 1912.
12. It was 1912.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but
So-
he was working on this information augmentation system.
Yeah.
And so he had like this entry system where you could like do the mouse with one hand and type with the other and do all of this crazy shit.
Okay.
I actually learned about this from a book called Dreaming in Code. But
Okay.
basically, this idea of using the computer to augment your ability to keep information organized
Yeah.
has been around forever.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of people who kind of have come up with that who are into using outliners. And outliners is like a kind of way that you can organize information.
Okay.
So those people there's people who are hardcore outliners for that reason because they're into the information organization stuff.
Yeah.
There's people who are hardcore outliners because they're writers. There's people so that's how if the student would be in the student category, writers would be in the
Yeah.
hardcore outline. Not
Right.
all of them, but the ones who are really into outlining because you can obviously right.
Right.
So and then there's other uses like for personal productivity.
Okay.
Like some people are just crazy about that shit. Like I could show you 100 videos right now in 10 seconds of people showing you how they keep track of their to-do list.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Where did they put that on YouTube?
Yeah. I mean, it's the kind of video that I've considered making, because as a software developer and as an entrepreneur, I've got a lot of stuff going on and a lot of balls in the air.
Yeah.
Trying to have a system that you can trust to keep all of that stuff organized is really
Okay.
helpful.
Is this your computer?
This is my computer. Oh, that's my phone.
That's your phone.
All right. Hold on, I gotta take this.
We'll stop
Can you
there.
pause? Yeah. Hey, Jason.